Feel like making something but don't want it to take months, and this is the video for you. For the coaster, I'm just gonna make this part of TXT's light stick because I don't know, I like kind of like the group a little bit. I am using a 3.75mm hook simply because this is my favorite hook. Please note that if your yarn is a tangled mess like this, it may take a little longer. Alright, so I made my circle. If you don't know how to wink a circle, then just look it up. It's super simple. Obviously, you could be done at this point. Super speedy. You got a coaster. I don't know why you would want a white coaster, but very functionable. But if you want to make it cute, we need to make these crosses. So what I'm gonna do is chain 14. You might have to adjust according to like how big your coaster is, how you crochet, etc. And then we're just gonna work 2 rows across. So I meant to do 14. I ended up accidentally doing 12, but it ended up being the right size for me, so yay. Your chain has to be a multiple of 2 because we're gonna join in the center 2 stitches. So for me, since I have 12, I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on either side, and then I'll be connecting to the 2 in the middle. So I fastened off, and now I'm going to connect to this one here, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th stitch from the beginning. So you just make a slip stitch with the yarn. Hello. Stick your hook through the stitch you want to connect to, and then you pull this guy through, and then you're gonna chain the same amount as you have on either side. So I have 5 on either side of my middle piece, so I'm gonna chain 5, 5, and then we're gonna work back towards here. Once you've done your 5 stitches and you get back to the beginning, you're going to slip stitch it into this second stitch here, second middle stitch, then work your way back up these 5 stitches. Ignore this one because this is your slip stitch. Once you finish that, you're gonna fasten off again and then do the exact same thing on this other side. And you're gonna do the exact same thing again in white, only it's gonna be a bit shorter because this piece is shorter than this piece. So I just did 1 chain less on either side. So this is 10 chain and this is 12 chain for me. And then since we have all our pieces, we simply sew them all to the main part of the coaster. And here we are. You know I don't like leaving it in, so don't even freaking say anything. It's a little messy, but we're going for quantity over quality for this video, is what I'm telling myself. It's a bit thick in the middle, which I mean isn't the most practical because it won't be as steady, but my love for TXT will make sure that nothing spills. For the wall hanging, I'm gonna make this as the album art for TXT's first album. This is all just gonna be TXT themed. I simply went on my favorite Pinterest, typed in TXT grid pattern, and then I got this. I'm gonna do this because it's easy. For this, basically each square is a stitch. So you're gonna chain however many squares are on the bottom here, saying 21, and then just work your rows back and forth. Ah, it's so cute! I forgot to say this is all single crochet, and since I wanted it to be smaller, I used a 2.5mm hook. It's so cute. I kind of wish that I did 1 less stitch on all sides though. I think that would look a little nicer, but it is what it is. To finish this off so we can put it on the wall, we can either hot glue gun a piece of cardboard to it, which I've done before. You can either do like the whole block or just do like little squares in the corners so that you have a way to stick it onto your wall. Or you can do what I'm going to do. I have these wooden dowels from the Dollar Tree. They're almost the perfect size. If I had just done 2 stitches less, like I said, it would have been absolutely perfect, but it's close. I'm going to fasten off, but I'm gonna leave quite a bit of a long piece on the end so that we can use it to wrap around this dowel. What we are going to do is we're gonna find the right side of this and then just kind of like go through the stitch. Frick, how do I do this? So see, just like pull around like this, and then frick, I don't even know. We'll do it like stop. Okay, we'll just like keep pulling up like you're casting on for knitting. I'm just gonna do it in every single stitch, like so, all the way down. You can also just use a sewing needle to go around, like wrap around it, and actually that might be easier, but I've already gone halfway, so I'm just gonna continue like this. Ta-da! It's so freaking cute! And then also, I still have enough left to make a little hanging thing. I'm just going to, what am I going to do? Pull it through here. and then, what am I doing? I'll just tie it in a knot. Maybe back here through this last one here so that the strings stay behind. There we go, and whatever way that I tied that, it is adjustable, so I don't really know. I don't know, but it's nice. You just put a little hook on your wall, hang this up. So cute. I feel like cat hats are the easiest of the hats, so that is what we are going to do today. And Hive just released that like video showcasing all the people who are going to be in the new like international Hive group competition thing. I think that's what that is. I don't know. One of the girls that stood out the most was wearing a brown like fuzzy cat hat. And since I have this yarn, it's like mohair acrylic that I hate. I hate this because the hairs get everywhere, but I just want to like use it and be done with it. So we're gonna make the hat with this. I can't really tell too much about it because of the lighting, but I believe it's knit. I believe it's rib knit, but we're gonna crochet it. And so I think we'll rib crochet, and the nice thing is it doesn't have like the folded over, you know, the folded over piece, which means it's gonna be less crocheting for us. Yay! So basically a cat hat is just a long rectangle folded in half, and then you sew up the sides of the seams and you're good to go. We need head measurements. I believe my head is 22 inches, but I always measure again just in case my brain grew. I'm getting smarter. 22, yes. So if we're doing a rib stitch though, we don't want to do the full 22 length. I'll probably do like 20 inches, which only affects the rows that we're doing, not how much we cast on. How much we cast on is how big the hat is gonna be from here to here. We don't want it to be long because we can't fold it over, or else we won't look like, I don't know who that is. I don't know anything about these people. I don't even know anything about the hat. Maybe it is folded over and I just can't see properly. Maybe we'll do like 5.5 inches. I don't know, it's pretty well fit to her head. I don't know. I don't know. My math is not mathing. So if I'm doing 5.5 this way, which means 5.5 on the other side too, so it'll be 10 inches. That seems super tiny. I don't know. Yeah, because it would be more on the back of your head. I'm just gonna measure like the full thing like this. Okay. Holy goodness, that was gonna be too small. We'll do 14 inches. So I just chained 45, which got me to almost 14 inches. Usually my chains are tighter than my stitches, I think. So I'm gonna do this row and hope that it becomes 14 inches. All right, so it's more like 13 inches, but it's pretty stretchy. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. And I'm doing half double crochet rib stitch, which means I'm just half double crocheting in the back loops only every single row. This looks teeny tiny, but we are trusting the process. This is like the chain side, and then this is the rows. So you have to do as many rows as to make half. What am I saying? So my head is 22 inches, right? And let's bring that down to 20 because it's gonna be stretchy. We don't want it too big. If it's 20, then this needs to be 10 inches across, which crap, it is more than that. Okay. It's fine. Then you fold these parts over. So then this is the part that's gonna be on my head. I don't know if any of that made sense, but it is what it is. This looks so tiny. Trust the process. I'm trying my best as well. So you fold it over and then you stitch along here and along here. I'm just gonna single crochet up this side and then attach back on over here and single crochet up this side. We'll see if it's too small after that. Alrighty, finished stitching those up. Now I'm gonna turn it right side in. What? I don't know. And if you're wondering how does just folding it in half and having like a rectangle, how is that a cat hat? I wondered the same thing too the first time I made one of these, but it will naturally, you'll see. I don't wanna put this on because it's gonna look stupid. It's just being tiny. Can't wait. Stretch it. Does it look stupid? I mean, it does feel too small. It feels too wide too. Ha 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 ha. Okay, yes, it looks stupid. Make yours longer. Moving on. Jokes, haha. I'm redoing it. But this time I'm using a 5mm hook because I have now doubled up on my yarn, doing 2 strands at once to make it chunky so that I can use a bigger hook so that it takes less time, because taking this apart alone is a lot of work because it gets stuck together. Anyway, this time I'm also doing just the rib on either end, and then I'm doing like normal half double crochet in the middle through both loops, because judging from the pictures I'm almost positive that it's just ribbing like halfway up, but I am not sure. But this does take less time. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Second round. I feel like this is too long now though. I'm not remaking this again. Oh, the ears sit weird with this freaking wool. I think we got it. Yes? No? I don't, yeah? Sure? Sure. It's not worth all of the freaking yarn hair that is all over me, but okay. Now we're gonna make Taesan's scarf. Lies, I already made it. But we're gonna make a simpler version of this, and therefore faster, because we have a need for speed. These are puff stitches, which are annoying. So we're gonna do just the regular like granny stitch, granny squares, and then we're going to just do the one row. But I'm still thinking it'll be like 2/3 of this size because I think the double crochets will be higher than my puff stitches. Here's all my colors I used for that one, only I have a now brighter red that's more like the one that Taesan wore, so I'm gonna use that instead. Yay! You're gonna be making these squares, and how you do that is you chain 4, and then you slip stitch into the first stitch to make your little circle. Now you have a little circle of chain stitches that you can work into. We're gonna chain 3, and that's gonna count as our first double crochet stitch, and then we're gonna crochet 2 more double crochet stitches, working over this yarn so we don't have to weave it in after. Yay! So we have 3 in here. Then we chain 2 or 3, some people chain 3, and the chains are gonna be our corners. So that's our first 3 double crochet cluster. We're gonna put in 3 more to make a square. And there we are. So it's 3 double crochet cluster, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2, slip stitch to the top of our 3 chain that we did to start. And then we're done the colors, so we can fasten off. Have our next color, and there's a cool way to start with a new color without having to chain up again, because the chains look kind of messy. And I learned this from a video. If I can find it, I will definitely link it below, but it was a while ago that I used it, so we'll see. You have your slip knot, then you wrap this around, you hold it with this finger and hold your working yarn away as you grab this. Do it next to your yarn that you can work over, and then in that chain 2 space here, you insert it like this, bring it through, and then you have 2 loops on, like your double crochet. Ta-da! And then, yeah, you're up at the right height without having to chain. Super cool. And then we just basically do the same thing. So we'll do 3 double crochet, but you're only chaining in the corners. So since this isn't gonna be a corner, this is a side, instead of chaining, you're just gonna continue on and work 3 in this next one. And then since this is a corner now, we're gonna do 2 chains and then work another 3 double crochet in here to make our corner. Ta-da! So that was 3 double crochet, 2 chain, 3 double crochet in each corner. So we started with a 3 double crochet cluster, no chain, 3 double crochet cluster, 2 chain, cluster, no chain, cluster, 2 chain, cluster, no chain, cluster, 2 chain, cluster, no chain, cluster, 2 chain, then slip stitch back into your first double crochet and fasten off, and the next color. And this round is just the same, except we have an extra one in each of the sides, and again there is no chaining in either of these, any of these points. It's just in the corners that we chain. We'll be finishing off everything with a brown row, but it makes more sense to stitch them all together with the final round. So I'll show you how to do that when I'm done all my things, because we need 15. I just timed myself. It took me like 7.5 minutes to do 1 square. So this is definitely possible to do in 1 sitting. I don't know. How much is that? That's like 2 hours, and then an extra hour for the brown. I don't know. Also, just a public service announcement to anyone who watches K-dramas: never ever watch, what is it called? The Light in Your Eyes. Never in my life have I been more annoyed about an ending. I will be mad about this. Not even mad, like it just feels like, oh, years to come, this will bother me. Oh, also for colors, I'm just going off of my actual Taesan scarf, just because I went off of the picture of Taesan scarf for this one. Okay, so I've finished and have them all lined up here, and now what I'm going to do is basically attach the brown onto here, then go around here, around up top here, and then work row here while slip stitching back into this one every time, and then like that all the way up there, and then once you get to the end you can do the brown all the way down in one row. Okay, so I worked my first one like this, and what do? You just start in there, do your 3 for that corner, and then every time you finish a cluster you're gonna slip stitch it in the adjacent, you see what I'm doing. And then again, we're just continuing down the line, slip stitching in there in the next space every time. See, and then we're just like this. We're at this corner, and then we're gonna stitch around till here, the same as we did this one. Like this. And then we connect our next piece the same way. Crazy, isn't it? I was amazed when I first found out you could do this. And then once you get to the end, you just turn around, work all the way back here. When you get to in between these 2 pieces, you're gonna do the 3 in here. And then I've just been slip stitching to here, and then slip stitch to here, and then do the 3 in here. So in the corner here, I did my 3 double crochet, and then I just slip stitch somewhere in here, slip stitch on this side, and then slip stitch into this side. And then I put my 3 double crochet in this corner and continue that for the rest. And now you have a beautiful scarf. But if you're like, no, I want to make Taesan's actual scarf, then hit the notifications so that you know when my Boy Next Door video comes out, because that's what this is from. Just in time for fall. Torobaragetto. This one's a lot longer just because I use the same amount of squares for the length, and these squares are bigger than these ones. I kind of do want to add a couple more to this one though. Also, where is it? I missed slip stitching this one together, so I'm gonna have to sew that, and that makes me so annoyed, but it's fine. Now we are making a penguin. You know why? You know. Ignore my face. These are our references, and we're just gonna wing it. I have this nice soft wool. The thicker your yarn, the faster projects are, because you can use a bigger hook. I, though, am going to use my 3.75mm hook because I want it to be very, so that none of the stuffing pokes through. So we're gonna start with a white base. First of all, I made a circle till it's this big. It looks a little wonky. For some reason when I use this wool, and I don't know if it's because it's larger and I'm using a smaller needle for it, or a hook for it. By the way, I switched to a 6.5mm because the other one was way too tiny. No holes. But yeah, it gets wonky. I can't do the typical circle. If you don't know how to do a circle, just look up how to do a circle. But I can't speak. I need to take this off. So when it starts curving in, I just started increasing even more than I was supposed to. And if it started getting floppy, I would increase less than I was supposed to. I don't know. I just had to wing it. Typically, just follow the circle pattern. I think this is gonna be a good size. This is gonna be the circumference of my thing. It's gonna be like, oosh, so cute. We're gonna start just single crocheting all the way around to start curving it up. That means I'm going to switch now to my gray color. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Hello. And then I'm gonna do gray for all around here and then leave the white for the belly. Again, just winging everything while looking at the pictures. Okay, so this is how far I've gotten. Hello. I ended up doing basically half and half for the belly because it's got a big belly. I've done about halfway up, and I think I'm gonna start decreasing. Though I do want them like little short stumpy, so I think I'm just gonna start decreasing once every time, just so it's not like a full-on cylinder, but it is still pretty. Yeah, I've been carrying the yarn just because that's easier. It looks like Totoro on the inside. I'll probably decrease once in the back just because decreasing is ugly. And then since that'll get rid of some of the gray, I'll do an extra stitch of gray on either side of the white, I think. So I did like 2 rows, decreasing here, here, and here. So like 3 times, and then also moving my gray over a little bit. 1 stitch each time. And now, since it's getting to almost the height that I want, so cute already. I want to put in the very middle of here. I'll try 3 stitches, and if that looks like too much, I'll do 1. And I'm gonna do the 3 middle pieces in gray so I can start shaping the eyes. Maybe I'll just do 1. Should I do 1? I don't know. We'll see. I ended up doing 2 because compromise. I don't want to jinx it, but like so far I've done this entire thing without making a mistake and having to go back. So now I'm going to close it off. So it's the exact same as the bottom, but opposite. So I think I'm gonna start 3, decrease, 3, decrease, 3, decrease, and see and go from there. Before we go any further, I'm going to make the face because it's easier to like get in here and tie things, and yeah. I have this yarn for the beak. I think instead of actually crocheting something, I'm just gonna stitch across here a couple times. Oh my gosh, look at how freaking cute this is! Ah! I don't know how many times to do it. I just keep going. Oh my goodness. This will be my last one just because I'm running out of yarn. Wow, yes, that's it. That's the one. And then I literally just tie a double knot, and then leave the strands because it's pretty tightly woven. I don't think anything's gonna poke through. Sick yet. Should I do the same for the feet? Oh my goodness, yes. Okay, wow, I think I totally forgot to say what I did for this. I just went out 1 more stitch on either side. In 1 more stitch on either side till I got to like 3 white left, and then I just did the gray around. I changed my mind. I don't think I'll do that. I don't know if I like it. I'm just gonna take it out. First attempt at eye. Too high, I think. Maybe not big enough. I don't know. I want to put it centered because I thought that would look weird, but then they put theirs centered. So there, that's better, right? Or does it look scary? I don't know. I just went around the same stitch, like one of these stitches, over and over again until it turned round instead of a rectangle. Oh, it's so cute! And it already looks like a penguin, but we need little flippers on. So that's next. I thought it would be cute with the tiniest of flippers. I did a magic circle, and in said magic circle, I did 1/2 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 triple crochet, because we're making a relatively weak point, and then working our way back down, we do 2 more double crochets and 1 more 1/2 double crochet. So you get this little not very pointy triangle. And then if you're using this kind of yarn, be careful when you pull your magic rings because it's very breakable. And then you get this little cute, it looks like a heart. Oh, and I also, crap, I shouldn't have closed that yet. I just did like a slip stitch in there just to finish it off. I love that they're hearts. Ah, it's so cute. This one didn't look like a heart though. I don't know what happened here. And now I'm gonna sew them on just to the side of, oh, that's so cute. Just to the side of the white here. I cannot get over how freaking cute this is. I did not expect this. I'm just winging this whole thing. So now it's time to stuff it before I finish the noggin. And I have this big bag of scraps and stuff, like just little tiny pieces of yarn that I've cut off from my other projects, and it's getting really full. This probably isn't enough to stuff it all, but it just seems fitting to stuff Huening with some rainbow colored stuffs. Oh my gosh, actually this might be like the perfect amount. That's so cute that it's stuffed with all this random stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna finish my noggin before putting the rest in, but there's just a little bit left in here. It might be enough. If not, I have a freaking whole box of stuffing over there, as well as like a little something in my closet as well. So. It's nice and heavy too. Oh my goodness, it's so freaking cute. Final reveal. He's so cute. I kind of wish that I made it a bit shorter, like so it'd be like that, but it's also kind of funny because it looks more like, you know. And the way the like fins go all weird is awesome too. I like it. Welcome to the family. The next project is the most time-consuming project, but I think is definitely doable within 1 or 2 days if you're not an absolute beginner. It's Lesserafim Sakura's tank top thing that she wears in the Lesserafim's Day Off Season 3. I hope I have enough yarn left to finish this because this is all I have. And I told myself I'm not buying more yarn until I finish like half of what I have because it's ridiculous. So it's all in granny stitch. For granny stitch you need a multiple of 4, so I chained 112, which I'm gonna double check is a multiple of 4 because I don't want to be embarrassed. Yes. Okay, thank you. And hers is done in panels, so front panel, back panel, but to save time, and since we do not like sewing here on this channel, I'm going to just do it in the round. So I've chained enough to go around me. And I think I'm getting better at matching my chains with my leg stitch, like the right, you know, so I don't think it'll be a big difference. I'm using 3.75 millimeter hook. And so to connect these, I'm just gonna make sure it's not twisted at all and then slip stitch them together. Now we do the chain in navy, but we're gonna switch to white for the first row. To make it easy on myself for switching, I'm just gonna do like a little single crochet just to color switch, but this isn't how you're supposed to do it. Really, I should have changed it before I slip stitched it, but then that's not very secure and I don't want to have to deal with that, so I'm just gonna do it this way. All right, so we are now in white. It's only this first row that's gonna take a little bit of thinking. After that, it's gonna be smooth sailing. I'm gonna chain 2 or 3. People always chain 3 for double crochet, but mine are too long, so I'm just gonna do 2. And basically what a granny stitch is clusters of 3 double crochets. So in this first stitch where I single crocheted when I shouldn't have, I'm going to double crochet twice because I'm gonna count the chain as a double crochet because it's gonna look like a double crochet. Then we just skip the next 2 stitches and then work another 3 double crochets in that 3rd stitch. Hello. So you do your 3 double crochet clusters, skip 2, and you do that all the way around the chain. Ta-da! And now in the second round, it's super easy. I just slip stitch to the first one and then you chain 2 again or 3 or whatever. And then you're going to do 2 more double crochets just in the spaces between your clusters, like so, and then you continue doing that, just 3 between these guys. Ta-da! And we do 3 rows white, 3 rows blue, 3 rows white, 3 rows blue. Good to try it on at this point too, it's looking great. So I ended up only doing 2 rows of the blue and 3 rows of the white because oh no, that's all I have left. So now we're also doing it super cropped because I feel like that'll look better, and also again no yarn left. So now we're gonna start shaping the armholes. I'm gonna do, what am I gonna do? Good question. I'm gonna leave 1, 2, 3 and then just do a chain and work in this next hole, and every time I'm gonna decrease. We're working on the front first. I took my little bobby pins here and I marked 3 on this side and 3 on this side, and then made sure that the back middle was the same as the front middle. So I have 16 here and 16 here. Somehow the math's just math, like magically. The yarn gods are gracing me, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to work back and forth along the front. So as you can see here, we started the row with a chain here, and then we worked our first cluster into the next space, and then we did this section like normal until we get to our next bobby pin, the armhole, and then for the space where the bobby pin is, you just do a single double crochet. That's confusing. 1 double crochet in there, and then I switch to my navy again, and then it's another chain, and then do your next cluster in the next space. So we're decreasing every time basically on both sides. So I continued until it got to the proper height, which I could tell by trying it on and looking great. Then when I switched to blue for the top little triangle, I did my usual kind of decrease. So I chained 2, did my cluster in here, another cluster, so 2 clusters, then 1 double crochet in this guy here, and then the same thing when I went back the other way. It's the chain, 1 cluster in between these guys, and then 1 double crochet in this, and then I didn't know how to make it a triangle, so I just swung this. I chained my 2, I put a single double crochet in the center double crochet of our cluster, and then I did a double crochet to connect it, make it triangular. Did the same on the other side. Then I went over to the back to finish off the back, and that is when I ran out of yarn. I just ordered it on Michael's website because I didn't want to go to Michael's, so I have no idea how long that's gonna take. Hope for the best. Look at this! It is literally the next day. Go Michael's! But I will not go into detail about how much I appreciate this because I am not sponsored by Michael's. It's not the right color. Oh my gosh. That's not noticeable, is it? It's... Darn it! It won't be that noticeable, right? Because I'm literally only doing the straps. So if the straps are a slightly different color, it's not horrible, is what I'm going to tell myself. Frick you, Michaels. It's fine, okay? Chill. Okay, so I think it was this one that I was using. It's called Denim Heather, but this is what we have now, so. For this side, I think I'm going to do less of the decreasing because it's not gonna like go in too much in the back. After finishing these, take this off. After finishing the blue, I think from then on, I'm not gonna do any more decreasing in the back. So that is 1, 2, 3 rows of decreasing. So we had 1 row of white. So instead of just doing the chain and moving on to the next row, like we were doing with the decreasing, we are going to put the 3 double crochets in the first one as well, and the last one. All right, so this is what we have for the back. I had to change to the other color for the last row, and it looks a lot more noticeable than I thought. It looks like black. Sadness, but it's whatever. So I don't know if you can see, but this is the front. So in the back, I did 1 more row than the front. I switched over to the blue again because it's slightly higher, and I'm gonna do the triangle a little less for the strap to go onto. So instead of what we did for this one, we did 2 and then 1. And then in the middle here, I just did the chain and then the 1 cluster in the middle and it's 1 double crochet. And then I chained, did 1 single double crochet in the center of this cluster, and then the other double crochet over here to make the triangle. And now I'm just gonna chain a bunch, put it on, and then see how long I need the strap to be. So I have 25 chains here, and I'm just going to make sure that they're not twisted, which is really hard because this yarn is very dark. And then I'm going to slip stitch it into, like this is coming from the back, I'm gonna slip stitch it to the front triangle like so. Now we have our strap, and since we're already on here, what I'm gonna do now is I think a half double crochet, or maybe just a single crochet. I don't even know. Let's test this out. Yeah, so I think a single crochet is thick enough because we're gonna go around this side and then we're also gonna go around the other side. But if you want it thicker, obviously do like a half double crochet, or you can do a couple rows of the single crochet. But now we're just gonna work this single crochet all the way around the armhole. Oh, and also I'm just working in the chain, like I'll just be using the right V's for this one so that I can go around again and use the left loops for the other round. So I finished that and I slip stitched to the first stitch and fastened off, and I'm so sad about the color change, but it is what it is. Aw, it would look so much better. Maybe I'll get the other yarn and redo it because sadness. Now I'm going to fasten on here and then do another chain on this side, and then I'll go around this armpit hole. For stitching through, the chain is obviously, but when you're going on the side here, I just kind of do like 2 single crochets in every like chain or double crochet, and then obviously in the actual stitches through here you can just crochet like normal in the stitches. Right, now we have to do the inside, so we'll go all along the chain again and through here and back here and then around and back up again. And we're done. It would have looked way better with the blue. I may as well have used black, basically, but it's a cute. It looks so much better with the freaking blue. And if you're really determined, maybe you can make these all in 1 weekend. If you're at grinding speed, maybe a day. I'm not there yet. Hashtag hot summer concepts.